I just realized how much culture has shifted. Like 20 years ago, if you were to see this and you would say, ew, people would genuinely ask, and they wouldn't make fun of it or use it as an insult. They would genuinely ask, dude, are you gay? As in, not a pejorative, but like, are you a homosexual? Like, how can you not like this? Like, are you not a straight man? And unless you came up with like, no, I just have religious convictions, I'm a monk, or I'm a very devout, strong Muslim, and I train my mind to keep me away from sin. Like, I would have loved this, but I need to pray to Jesus. I'm clinging to my Bible to resist. Unless you said something like this, like people unironically would believe that you're gay, not as a pejorative, but like your sexuality. Like you're genuinely, how can you not like this? I guess like another reasoning would be like, no, because it's fake, right? Like I know it's not real, so I can't be attracted to this. I mean, it looks good, but it's not my thing. Like I want to see a real woman. I want to watch Pornhub. Like that's what does it for me. This is not right. So unless you have like those reasoning, then people would assume you're gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but like that's what they would think you are. It's kind of like people saying you're 5'1". And you're like, no, I'm not. But like people wouldn't believe it because they saw you in a picture, right? There's nothing wrong with being 5'1". It's just like people would genuinely think you're that based on certain things that you have shown, like a picture where you're smaller than another person that's taller. But now you have all these journalists that for some reason they don't think that if you don't like this you're gay. That they think that no, every single decent person is supposed to not like this. Like what type of straight man would look at the cleavage and would like it? It's childish, it's disgusting, it's abhorrent, right? Like what you should like is the way Ubisoft designed to be, which is a man in a wig. That's what normal people like. Like every single person needs to appreciate the beauty of a man in a wig. You cannot just like feminine aesthetics. You cannot just be like a straight person with a healthy sex drive. Like that is disgusting, disturbing, abhorrent. And this is what all the journalists do, right? Like, notice when Ubisoft is making 2B to look masculine, like they're actually hiring actors, and it's like it's not just her body, because like that was another cope. It's like, well, yeah, but it's like a skin in a DLC game, and the skin has to fit the character because the game is competitive. But it's not just that. It's like the facial features as well. Like, first is the question, like, why would you, in a game where you have people that look like Gears of War characters, why would you cast one of the most feminine characters in gaming that we already know how it looks like? You're not creating like a character that looks as a woman in the Gears of War universe. No, you're taking someone with 2B's archetype and her body posture, and you're then designing, like you're creating this Frankensteinian monstrosity to look like a man in a wig, right? So you gotta ask, like, why did you do that? What was your reasoning? Because you're not just making a woman, you're making 2B. Like, everyone knows what 2B looks like. So why did you think it's a good idea to take a female, like one of the most feminine characters in gaming, and make her look like a man? What were you trying to say as an artist, right? Like, what were you trying to tell the public by doing this? And you don't have the gaming press asking that question. You don't have the gaming press like, what is the type of person that actually likes to see men in wigs pass off as female characters? Like who does that? Who enjoys this type of art? For who is it made for? They never ask that question. But when they ask the question is when the character is actually beautiful, like Stellar Blade. It's like, oh, they don't even ask, they know. It's like only Gunnars like it. Only Gunnar. Now what's interesting is that there's a study which came out recently. And I know this will blow your mind. Like I was like, wow, they found out something so interesting. Humanity didn't know. Apparently for straight men, when they're looking at a beautiful character, so like they're looking at a statue of Venus, or they're looking at an Olympic athlete, or they're looking at 2B, what they said is not that it's, like for some it may be arousing, for some not, but usually like people don't get aroused for looking at a statue of Venus. Like, maybe they get for a little bit, but like after a while it passes, right? Like if you play the game, if you're playing Stellar Blade, you don't get a boner every single time you're playing. Like, sure, like you may get it if you're a teenager and you see Eve for the first time. Like, okay, but after that it passes, right? So what they saw, that beyond the arousal, especially straight men, when they're looking at a beautiful feminine character, they feel euphoria. Like, it is the exact same thing as if you're looking at a very picturesque painting of a background. So you see like a very beautiful mountain visage, or you're seeing like a beautiful river or something like that, and it gives you like a feeling of euphoria. Well, apparently it's like that, but even more amplified. So when you have a straight man looking at a perfect feminine character, they feel euphoric. Now, there's another study which shows that when straight people, right, so not women, not members of the LGBT community, when straight people see two men kissing, they said it's comparable to seeing maggots. Again, this is the scientists claiming. This is not my claim. This is what they discovered. It's like the same feeling of revulsion. It's like, ugh. So you as a game designer who can choose to do anything, right, and knowing that most people who play these games are men, why would you choose to go out of your way to create feelings of ew, brother, ew, rather than just make people enjoy what they see on the screen? Like, why are you choosing to not make a game that's for entertainment? Why are you choosing not to go with euphoria, and instead you're trying to make the players uncomfortable? So that is the first question. But regarding the second question, it's also them completely failing to understand fan service and just heteronormative sexuality. Like, there's no fucking way that these people are cisgender heteronormative. If you're thinking that the Gunners have been owned by having 2B kick the camera, and you get a panty shot as she does it, like, are you fucking insane? In what world do you live in? First of all, seeing a woman like 2B being in a position where she's on top and you're looking from below and she's kicking, that's a fetish for most people, you morons. Like, there's no way you can even use the internet and not find that out. And it's also fan service because as you're trying to like look the camera and get the panty shot and she does the kick, you get to see, you know, from that position, you get to see a lot of things. So no, like, Gunners aren't getting owned, they're getting fan served. And it's not just Gunners that try to see what's under 2B's dress. I have seen female streamers do that. Almost every single female streamer that does it, the moment they played Stellar Blade, the moment they played Nier, is the first thing that they did is that they tried to see if they can move the camera to see what's under the skirt. Because it's LOL funny. Like, this is the type of humor that we grew up in the 90s with. You remember that black and white photo of what is the name of the actress, like Moore, and like you have the woman walking over the vent and the vent is pushing the air upwards and the woman goes like, "Ooh!" That's something that Disney used to do as humor. Like, that is something that like old cartoons used to do, like the Animaniacs and shit. Like, they used to have this cartoon, and now because anime still does it because it's funny, if like you can use it as humor. You guys are taking it super mega seriously, and you're like, but how does it affect society at large? But what would people think? Well, people think it's something that belongs in cartoons. That's what people think. They wouldn't think that, oh, it's okay in real life to do it, or like, no, they're not looking into it. They're not hyper-analyzing it. They're just basically saying, oh yeah, it's funny. Look, you're moving the camera and you're trying to look at her panties and she's kicking you. That's hilarious. Which is what actually happens in Nier. Like, a lot of people tried the same in Nier. And that's literally what 2B does, which is what this is about. It's an Easter egg. It's a nudge to that other game that they're using it as DLC. But the journalists just don't get it. And I think the reason they don't get it, is because it doesn't represent them. Let's put it like this, right? Like, representation matters. And the people that are writing these articles, they're definitely not representing not just me, but the overwhelming market at large. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.